I saw the White Walkers. People need to know.
I, Eddard, of the House Stark, Lord of Winterfell and Warden of the North, sentence you to die.
The first man executed in Game of Thrones is remembered as a coward, a deserter, a criminal. But what if he was the only man in Westeros telling the truth? Before Ned Stark appears, before the Starks ride south, before anyone talks about the Iron Throne, one terrified ranger runs from the wall and says something impossible. The White Walkers are real. Everyone ignores him, and for the next 7 seasons, the entire world pays for that mistake. Here's the strange part. The show opens with 3 Night's Watch rangers north of the wall. Within minutes, 2 are dead and 1 is fleeing for his life. The survivor isn't running from wildlings. He's running from something the rest of Westeros thinks is a children's story. That means the very first scene of Game of Thrones is secretly not about politics at all. It's about an apocalypse that nobody believes is coming. The Ranger's story is remarkably consistent. He and his companions discover a wildling camp. The bodies are arranged in a strange pattern. Then the bodies disappear. One ranger investigates. The White Walkers attack. His companions are killed. He escapes. Notice what he never claims. He never says he defeated them. He never says he understands them. He only says they exist. That makes him more believable, not less. Liars usually add details. Traumatized witnesses repeat the same terrifying fact over and over.
The guardsmen just rode in from the hills. They captured a deserter from the Night's Watch.
To understand why the Ranger dies, you have to think like Ned Stark. White Walkers haven't been seen for thousands of years. The Night's Watch is full of criminals and failures. Desertion is a capital offence. And the man standing before Ned is shaking, exhausted, and speaking about monsters from legend. From Ned's perspective, the simplest explanation is fear. A ranger panicked, abandoned his post, and invented a story. The tragedy is that Ned's logic is completely reasonable. He isn't cruel. He's wrong.
You have to.
He swore an oath, Cat.
Law is law, milady.
People often ask, why didn't Ned investigate? Because he couldn't. A lord who ignores desertion undermines the law that keeps the North together. If one ranger can abandon the wall without punishment, others will follow. Ned chooses duty over a story he cannot verify. That's why the execution scene matters. Ned says, the man who passes the sentence should swing the sword. It's framed as honourable leadership, but the show quietly turns that honour into a fatal blind spot. Ned looks directly at the witness to the apocalypse and kills him with his own hands. The wildling corpses are gone when the Rangers return. That is physical evidence, not a hallucination. The audience sees the threat before any southern character does. The show is telling us the Ranger is correct from the beginning. The execution happens immediately after the supernatural attack. Cause and effect are placed back to back. The Ranger's death reveals a larger problem. The Night's Watch had become a political dumping ground. Nobles sent criminals there. The realm treated the wall as a relic. So when a real supernatural threat returned, the institution designed to detect it had lost all credibility. Imagine a modern emergency alarm that has been broken for decades. The first time it rings, everyone assumes it's another malfunction. That's exactly what happens here. The cruelest detail is that the Ranger survives the White Walkers. He outruns death itself. He crosses the wall. He reaches Winterfell. And then he is killed by the people he came to warn. His story is the entire series in miniature. The real enemy is in the north, while the kingdoms fight each other. By the time the great houses finally unite against the White Walkers, the warning from Episode 1 is long forgotten.
What is it?
So was the Ranger a coward? No. He was terrified, and he had every reason to be. Cowards run from imagined dangers. He ran from a real one. The first honest witness in Game of Thrones dies before the opening credits of the story. Have even finished unfolding. That's why Episode 1 is so brilliant. The show tells us the ending immediately. The White Walkers are the true threat. Then it spends years showing what happens when every powerful person ignores the only man who saw them first. And the next time you watch Ned Stark swing ice, remember, he isn't just executing a deserter. He's executing the first warning Westeros ever received.